cuts off everything.
Pardon me for any
Now
acts of
it's yours.
divine retribution.
What? Press E.
A mechanical angel for an age of gunplay.
That's gotta sting.
And monsters all answer to a higher authority.
Let me show you.
Well, I never.
Ash, I feel strangely disarmed around you.
Heaven's always watching.
The trap is set.
slain. Your ally has slain.
I'm afraid your blind heaven is empty. Sorry. One man and another hell for devils.
Never sell that. Buy some of these potions before they go bad.
I can see the devil is cheap, but a little. Far.
Sali ka ba, Marcos? Sali ka ba? Si Paolo. Apply. Sali ka ba?
YouTube Premium is. Back in 1998, I was just a wee lad playing games like Diablo 1 and StarCraft. Well,
Yeah.
Main Gear decided to take me back to that magical time. Power switch system. This is where it is. There's no button up here, there's no button on the side. That's not a button. That's your power button. You can actually and some decent cable routing. And then we've also got a couple of nice 2.5-inch SSD sleds back here. Love to see it. My only other kind of complaint is that for this system with a 5070 and a Core Ultra 7 265K, we've only got a 650 watt 80 plus gold power supply. It is a nice MSI power supply and it is 80 plus gold, which is great. I would have loved 750. This way, we're kind of like really up against the limits right now, and so if you make any kind of upgrades in the future, you can probably get away with it if it's not too big of a deal, but like, you're not going to be throwing a 5080 or 5090 in here without maybe second guessing upgrading the power supply. For instance, their 5080 version, which is just the next tier up from this, comes with an 850 watt power supply. So if that's what they're putting alongside that, it's probably what you're going to want too. So minor issue, but you're still getting what you pay for. The price is actually relatively reasonable based on the hardware inside this. We'll get to that later. First, I want to show you the inside on this side, the good stuff. Here's our RTX 5070. It is a Founders Edition, which do look pretty sexy, and they've even done their due diligence and actually managed the cable to go along it and then out instead of just dropping down into here or something that would have just been kind of lazy. So it actually looks pretty sleek. And then the really nice thing is, memory is hard to come by these days, and these are two 16 gig sticks of DDR5, so we're getting 32 gigs of DDR5, pretty solid. And then we've just got a 360 millimeter AIO from Main Gear right here. So whatever CPU you upgrade to, AMD or not, change the board, doesn't matter. This cooler should be plenty strong enough for it. And then as for storage, we've got a 2 terabyte Gen 4 NVMe drive. Those are also becoming very hard to come by. So, I never thought I'd say this, but maybe it is time to buy a pre-built instead of building your own PC. I'm actually in the middle of building my own NAS right now, and let me tell you, I just spent $1,200 on hard drives, and I'm glad I did because they're basically impossible to find now just a couple weeks later. And even SSDs, I'm lucky that I already have a boot drive because even Gen 4, like 1 or 2 terabyte drives are either way up in price or just unavailable. All of our cables are pretty nicely managed. It looks really pretty. I'm a big fan of having this like fully modern look, but if you get the alpha version, which is the most top tier of top tier, you get some cool like ketchup and mustard cables for that really classic red and yellow look for those of you who want it. One other cool thing I just noticed is they've got this really cool like fan hub over here in the back. So you've actually got, if you do want to add more fans, the ones they include are actually pretty solid. We tested them and they perform better than we expected. But there's a big fan hub here. Yeah, very nice. You can also pop the top off pretty easily by just undoing this screw and pulling that out there. If you ever need to change anything with your radiator, that's how you get at it. And Once we get to the back, there are a couple of pretty cool things. One, if you did want to, there are vertical mount slots for your GPU. You're not going to see it unless you take the side panel off. But you know, if you take that side panel off to show things off, you're probably at a LAN or something. So it'll be pretty sick. Totally could. It'd be pretty awesome. But there was one small problem. It's not a big deal, but this fan is set to intake currently, and there's no mesh filter at all for dust. So your PC will maybe get a little dusty over time, but like, it's probably not that, I don't know, it's probably not that bad. The other issue though is that this motherboard, when we received it, it didn't have a little sticker over it saying, hey, don't plug your monitor into this, plug it into the graphics card. So if you're new to PC gaming, just don't use these. That's for your motherboard's onboard graphics, which thankfully the Core Ultra 7 265K has, but your performance is going to be kind of trash if that's where you plug your monitor into. But I do love how the board also has some pretty decent I/O. I mean, we've got plenty of USB, USB-C with power delivery, and it's even got a PS2 port if you really want to complete the look and use a really old school mouse and keyboard. One thing I neglected to mention is it's got a 3D printed GPU bracket, which is great, but the only problem is it's attached over here, so you've kind of got to take your motherboard off to get the bracket off, which kind of sucks. The other thing is it did come packaged without any internal foam, like, you know, the self-expanding stuff. They do have that GPU anti-sag bracket, so it's probably fine, but I would like to see just a little bit more packing material. They usually do it, so I was kind of surprised that it didn't come with any. Overall, it looks pretty sick, and I would love to have something like this. So let's get it all put back together and fire it up after this word from our sponsor.
Private internet access. If you want to mask your IP from your...
Moment of truth. Maybe it's locked. It is. All right. Yo, the lock button works. That's so cool. And it looks like our LED screen here. I'm not sure if that 49 is our CPU temp, but it probably is. I'm not sure what else it might represent. Whoa! This is awesome. We've got the same like 3D main gear logo set to our wallpaper here with a little 98. This thing's dope. We've got one of those dual mode monitors here, and I was about to set this to like 4K because I don't need 500 hertz, but I forgot that we've only got a 5070. So this might be one of the actual times where I do want to run at 1080p and just cool, 500 hertz, why not? So yeah, let's do that. Let's swap that back. Now that our display is ready to go and we've got our computer all fired up, we're gonna change to 60 FPS on our camera because we're about to game. Just gonna check out some of our specs real quick here. There's our CPU. As for our memory, 32 gigs. Currently running at 4,800 megatransfers per second. I am pretty sure that there is a profile set up, but it's not enabled out of the box. So if you do buy this, because it says it was hand built by one guy, it's entirely possible that the same mistake is across every system. So we're gonna go ahead and enable all of our XMP so that we get the rated speed, because these sticks should go to like 6,000 megatransfers per second. And you know, if I paid for it, well, I didn't, but if you pay for it, then you should get it. One last thing before we do that though, I've opened up hardware info and I wanna just see if like our CPU temperature matches what's displayed there. Or our GPU temps maybe, because yeah, I'm sitting at like 33C, 39C, and that's only 26, 27. Oh, okay, CPU GT cores are set to 28, so maybe it's measuring that, I don't know. Where's our GPU? Even our graphics card is measuring about 33, 34C, so I'm not 100% sure if that's correct, but you know what, let's hit the turbo button. Instantly the fans crank up. Now it says HH, which I'm a little concerned about. I don't think it should say HH. I'll let you figure out why. All right, memory, 6,400 megatransfers per second, which I think is actually faster than the 6,000 that it's rated for. So I don't know if they just gave us a memory bump or what, but yeah, it's running faster than it should, so that's always great. Still haven't confirmed that the CPU temp is correct on the readout there. One thing that I forgot to mention earlier is that, as you can tell, or maybe not, it's a little noisy right now after I enabled XMP and restarted it. If I hit the turbo button, it's already loud and you hear new fans ramp up, and that's because it's only connected to the case fans. It's not actually affecting our AIO, which is kind of annoying. I really wish all of them were just connected to the one turbo button. Just gonna load up some Cyberpunk really quick. We did test a number of games, and guess what? They all perform like they would on a 5070 and a Core Ultra 265K with the memory and storage that we have in there. So, you know, you're not giving up any performance, you're getting what you paid for. Hell yeah. All right, RTX 5070, 1080p, but we're set to ray tracing medium and we're getting like 120, 115 FPS. Pretty solid here. Cyberpunk looks great. I'm going to blast these people. Yeah. We tested Cyberpunk, Red Dead Redemption 2, The Last of Us, Alan Wake 2, and F1. And all of those games performed as expected. As for temps, they also performed as expected. Our turbo mode does make a very minor difference, but it makes a difference. Makes sense, fans going faster, pushing more air, cooling down components.
Beses yun eh. Pero una, tinachat ko muna siya. Titignan ko kung mag-reply. Pag di siya nag-reply, tatawagan ko.
Ito Maro, malakas.
Hindi.
Hindi malakas.
Sakto lang.
Pag lumapit